Good morning all and welcome to the 2025 Bee Orchid Tour of Peterborough. I've got about 5 sites I'm going to hit. I will find bee orchids. I've had a few tip-offs that they are out now. They've come out in the sort of last 7 days or so, so I'm going to find some. I won't find many. I think the drought will have had its effect, but I don't care. Just going to find some. If I can find a bee orchid at all 5 sites, I'll be absolutely overjoyed. So we're going to kick off at a new one for me, which is one of the Langdyke sites at Etton and Maxey. I had a tip off a few days back that there were some bee orchids here, so I've got to try and find them, but it's a new one, which is a good place to start really, rather than keep doing the same old sites. So let's head off and see if we can kick this tour off with a bang. We've done 15 minutes without a sniff. Plenty of small pyramidals coming through, but no bee orchids. Well, that looks promising over there. Yeah, that could be it. I'll say it, I'm not saying there's only one, but that is a bee orchid. I can see from here it's a bee orchid. Hallelujah. There you go. A Langdyke, Etton and Maxey bee orchid. There's actually quite a few of them dotted around here, very small, hidden in the long grass, but there must be 5 or 6 that are just opening. A mini colony. Counted 5 in the end. A mini colony of 5 bee orchids. But it's a new site, so I should certainly come back and have a look next year. There might be a few more. Now it's time to move on to the next site. Right, top of the road that leaves Ferry Meadows up towards Castor. There's traditionally 1 or 2 bee orchids on the corner just as you hit the road into Castor. Whether there'll be any this year, probably slim chances, but you never know. We're going to scour Peterborough, and I can't miss this one out. You just never know. There used to be quite a few up here at the very top of the slit road that comes off the A47 up towards Castor. At the top of that slit road there used to be a good dozen or more, but it got scalped repeatedly and they've just not turned up since. But there's always 1 or 2, as I say, usually on this corner by this sign. If we're lucky. Doesn't appear to have been cut too recently, which is good. Come on, come on. Yeah, I see one. Just behind the pyramidal. There you go, unlikely site for bee orchids, but then that's bee orchids for you. I just had a quick wander down the road, there's no more. So just the one this year, but it's on the bee orchid map for 2025. Castor. Heading down to the protected grass verges of Glinton. Came on the scene 3 years ago with a bang. Some very, very nice bee orchids 3 seasons back. Then it got badly scalped in the wrong places at the wrong time, and the last 2 trips here it's been pretty poor and hanging on, so fingers crossed, everything crossed really, that we're going to find bee orchids, or at least 1 bee orchid at this site. Good stuff. We've got one at least, a Glinton Verges Bee Orchid. If you ever come down here, it's kind of opposite McDonald's on the busy roundabout. Very difficult to park. You need to park in Glinton Village and walk back. Don't park in McDonald's like I did one year. I don't like that. That's the second one. I think that is the second one. I don't think there are any more, but this one's still opening, still in bud up above. Just the two. A bit of a climb down on its best, but that's bee orchids for you. They come in all their glory and then they go. Just the two. Onto the serious stuff now. We're going to go on to Dogsthorpe Star Pit. One of the big two bee orchid sites of recent seasons. Fingers crossed again. Welcome to Dogsthorpe Star Pit. A penultimate visit to a bee site, but this one doesn't let us down usually. This grass verge used to have a fantastic bee colony, which we lost to scalping, or nearly lost, but there's always a few survivors every year that survive in this long grass at the back, which seems to be left now by the mowers, ironically. Doesn't look like there's any survivors this year, unfortunately. There's usually just one or two at the back there, but not much sign of life. We're going to have to rely on what's inside the Star Pit Reserve, which is usually pretty good. Right, don't let me down. There's a tiddler. Always tidy little bee orchids here at Dogsthorpe, fresh. Well, I got quite excited by seeing that little one as soon as I entered the reserve, but I've been down the entire of this bank where there's usually about 20 to 25, and that one is still one. I haven't seen another one. We are struggling. I've still got to check the other side, but yeah, it's quite a shocker. Well, I found another one really deeply hidden in amongst the brambles with a single flower on it. So that's two. Right, just the two. Down the left hand side, there were a few in this long grass last year. Fingers crossed. It looks a bit too long this year. I can see one in the distance, I can see several in the distance. We've been saved. I knew Dogsthorpe would deliver. 1, 2, 3, 4 I can see. Couple over there in the background. Let's go and have a shuffle over and see what we can see. There's at least 2 over there. Just moving across. Right, I was very dismissive of Swaddywell a week ago when I came here. There was no bee orchids, but I got literally 2 or 3 emails the next day to say they've come out. So I was a day too quick. So yeah, I've got high hopes of a good return from Swaddywell on the finale of our bee tour. A Swaddywell bee orchid, no less. Only just opened, very fresh. Plenty of buds on it. Good heavens. Twins side by side. Right, there's about four or five, I would say, plants in flower in amongst the brambles immediately ahead of us here. I'm going to move down the field a wee bit now, see if there's any more coming out before we go to the lower field. There's usually a few dotted around. No more joy on the way down, so let's head into the bottom field and see what's what, and hopefully there's a few showing down here. I'm optimistic. Well, we found one in bud last week when we came down here. I said I was sure it was a bee orchid waiting to flower, so I'm optimistic we'll find at least one. Unless it turned out it wasn't a bee orchid, of course. Quite a few little tiddlers around. Keep looking for a Belgarum variation, that would be nice. There were a few here 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I lose track. What is that? What is that? Holy Holy you kidding me? Excuse my French, but that is fantastic. That is a bee orchid bicolour variation, and I've never seen one of these before, and that is very much on my bucket list because I want to see the variations of bee orchid. I've never seen the bicolour, and I've never heard of one being in Peterborough ever before. That is a fantastic orchid. This place is just incredible, Swaddywell. It just turns up the most amazing orchids year on year. You just don't know what's going to come next, but that is brilliant. Superb. I'm actually wandering around looking for another variation bee orchid. Stupid boy. What a way to end. I mean, what a way to end. I would have driven 100 miles to see a bicolour bee orchid variation. I mean, it really is high on my biggest, most important bucket list, and I've seen one, and in my own backyard. And good old Swaddywell once again. It just delivers the goods every year. You don't know what you're going to find here, but you can guarantee every year there's going to be something mighty strange here, and that is a wonderful mighty strange, and dead chuffed. Still in shock over that one. But that's the end now of the Bee Orchid Tour. The drought has hammered them, absolutely hammered them. I feared that would be the case, but you know, we did 5 sites. We saw a bee orchid, at least one bee orchid. I mean, literally one bee orchid in a couple of them. But we saw at least one bee orchid in all 5 sites, and that's what I said at the beginning would be a great result. So I'm very, very happy with that. And yeah, I can close with a smile on my face because of that bicolour for sure. Is that it for this week? I'm popping up to Robertsfield in Lincolnshire tomorrow evening, probably, if the weather's okay. I always go there late in the season when the pyramidals are going strong, but I made a note last year, go early, because the common spotties have always gone over when I'm up there, so I wanted to see the common spotties in their prime, or at least in their youth, whichever comes. So I'm going to go up there and have a look. If there's anything worth seeing, I'll do another video. If not, I shall just wander around and write it off. But thank you for joining me in this one, and if I don't do another one this week, there'll certainly be several to come in a very busy week next week. So thanks again, and see you in the next video, hopefully.